Rivals of Ether 2 is a brand new platform fighter and it's quite challenging, especially if you don't have experience in similar titles. Whether your goal is to be the best in the world or just be the best amongst your friends, there are many things you should be focusing on and improving as you climb the ranks. I'm currently in High Masters ranking amongst some of the best players in the world, and these are some tips that I considered when climbing in ranked. So let's get into it. Before we get into the specific in-game things on how to improve, the first and most important thing is making sure your mentality is in the right spot. First of all, you should be trying to implement one thing at a time, so you don't overwhelm yourself. Secondly, winning is not what's important, it's improving. They might sound like the same thing, but I promise you they're not. Lastly, it's fine to get frustrated. When you do, make sure to take a break from the game and do something else until you've calmed down and you think you can get in some really good practice. In Stone or Bronze, your aim should be refining and building up your basics and fundamentals. So my first bit of advice is just to keep playing the game and you will naturally start to see improvement over time. Learning the basics of platform fighters such as movement options and ledge play are important. My next bit of advice would be to try out a bunch of different characters and learn the basics of what they do to find out who you gel with the most. Sticking to one character makes it a lot easier to pick up the basics as you don't have to worry about learning character specific things. A good thing to know is how to use directional influence, also known as DI. DI gives you control over where you get sent after being hit. As a good rule of thumb, you will want to DI out and away to get out of combos, and at higher percent you will want to hold up and in to survive longer. As an example, with the zetterburn forward throw, if you hold all the way in, you will die a lot earlier than if you hold up and in. By silver, hopefully you have the basics down and a character you want to improve at. At this point, it's time to start learning basic movement, things such as wave dashing, wave landing, and dash dancing. All of these options will help you start to move better and faster, giving you more options to overwhelm your opponent. Next up is learning your character's bread and butters, or BNBs. A character's BNBs are reliable combos and kill confirms that work on the majority of the cast. For example, Forsburn loved doing down throw into down smash at low percent to rack up damage, and Zetterburn loved doing back air into up smash as a kill confirm. Every character has different reliable combos and setups that are quite easy to learn. The hard part is just finding out what they are. I would recommend finding a character guide, joining a Rivals 2 Discord server, or leaving a comment down below and I'll try my best to answer any questions. Once you've made it into gold, you want to start learning what your character is best at doing and how to abuse them to get wins. For example, if you're a random player, you want to abuse this war crime of a move, needles, and his edge guarding skills. And if you're an arcane player, you want to abuse how good your frame data is and how safe everything is, so keep mashing buttons. These are all things that can be implemented easily that can help you on your journey to master. Other gold players are going to be doing the same thing in abusing broken stuff, so make sure to take your time to find out what they are looking for and try to avoid them. Make sure you're going into training mode, practicing your combo game and kill setups so you can hit them consistently in your rank games. Hello, just wanted to pop in and say thank you so much for 1k subs, all your support, all your likes, all that means so much to me. For some reason, like 90% of you aren't subscribed, so if it just, take 2 seconds, just, go do it right now, like right now. Cool, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Being in Platinum is no easy task. You're already in the top 5 or 6% of the world, and this is where I believe the grind to climb is the hardest. This is because you're going to have to start using your brain a little more, unless you're playing a certain goblin character. Like I said before, gold is when people really start to abuse what makes their character broken and start knowledge checking you a lot of the time. This is why you need to learn how to punish characters and player weaknesses, also known as adapting. You have probably played a Crag who up specials in disadvantage every single time, or a Loxodon that is spamming meatballs all game. If you happen to run into an opponent like this, you should start to think, what can I do to punish these options? For what I just mentioned, if you read a Crag up specialing you in disadvantage, you can stay grounded and hold shield, then you can act before he does, punishing him. And for Loxodon spamming meatballs, you can start to parry them as it gives you invincibility and sends the projectile right back at him. Doing small things like this add up to you winning more neutral interactions, making you more consistent and increasing your chance of winning. When you start noticing these habits, you will realize that a lot of players actually make the same mistake. Keeping common habits in mind means that you can go into matchups with a game plan, knowing what you're going to look out for and how you're going to punish them. Next up, shield dropping, crouch cancelling, and floor hugging. Shield dropping is when you drop through the platform from an instant aerial in shield. Crouch cancelling is holding down while on the ground to greatly reduce knockback from attacks. And floor hugging is timing a down input when you get hit, which slightly reduces overall knockback from attacks. Around this rank, you should be trying to implement all these core mechanics as it will make certain matchups a lot easier. For example, you've probably faced a Zetterburn going crazy on the stick spamming Shine. An easy way to counter this is floor hugging. Zetterburn Shine is also auto floor huggable, meaning you don't have to time that down input, you can just hold down when you're getting hit. Doing this allows you to punish Zetterburn Shine whenever you read it. Now that you're in Diamond, you're going to start playing some of the best players in your region, and games are going to be very hard. At this rank, you need to get the advanced movement down, as it can be the difference between winning and losing a game. Being able to grab ledge fast for ledge hugging, CC tech, and move freely are all very important things at this level. Luckily, all these things can be learned easily with practice. As an example, if I want to practice grabbing ledge for ledge hogs, I would boot up training mode and drill it into my muscle memory. Next, I would play friendlies and go for ledge grabs whenever I could. Winning or losing doesn't matter. You're just trying to grab the ledge in a real match environment, which will help you do it in pressure situations. You should also be watching VODs of the best players of your main. All the hard work is already done in finding the best combo routes, optimal recovery paths, and so on. All you have to do is watch and try and incorporate what the top reps are doing into your gameplay. Being able to play your main without relying on cheese and knowledge checks and come up with solutions on the fly is important to becoming a better Rivals 2 player. Following from this, you'll have to start learning how to play your main in certain matchups. An easy way to figure this out is, again, watching top reps playing your main in those matchups. For example, if you're a Claren main struggling in the zetterburn matchup, go watch Boyko vs Kakasult and watch what Boyko does against one of the best zetterburn players in the world and how you can incorporate what he does into your gameplay. If you've managed to make it all the way to Master, you are now amongst some of the best players in the world. From this point, you have a choice. You can either carry on playing ranked to practice playing against different playstyles, or you can grind against other top players to learn all the intricacies of certain matchups. Whichever you choose, the skill level between high masters and low masters is very apparent, so the grind of improvement never stops. Constantly watching VODs of top reps, refining your playstyle, optimizing combos is going to be a thing that you're constantly doing. Just make sure to remember to have fun whilst doing all of this. As mentioned many times in this video, VOD reviewing is very essential when it comes to improvement. So I'm going to quickly go over how I believe the best way to VOD review is and just some general tips on how to get the most out of your VOD review session. First of all, when VOD reviewing, you don't really want to just mindlessly watch it. You want to break down each interaction on how you're losing and why you're losing it and what you could do better. You'll slowly notice over time that you're losing interactions in a similar way, and then you can figure out what habits are bad and then you can start to work on improving them. For example, in the set with me versus Koto, I noticed that I wouldn't let the combo string finish before trying to punish it. So one example right here is that Koto lands on my shield with a nair and then does a jab straight away. So what I should have done is just waited for the jab to finish and then punish the jab into tilt or jab into whatever it was, and this happens many times throughout the set. Realizing that this is a common thing a lot of Ranos do, I saw a strong Rano in my country, Kidda, and only kept that one interaction in mind, trying to punish it wherever it came up, whether that's punishing the final tilt with CC or with punishing it into a kill move. Here are some examples of me doing that. So here, jab into F tilt, I floor hogged the F tilt and punished it with another strong F tilt. Another example is right here, realizing that I couldn't punish the tilt, I just held my shield until the jab string was over, keeping my advantage and kind of resetting the situation. And here is another example of them doing the same jab string, and instead of interacting with it, I simply got out of the way and then whiff punished it and got a kill accordingly. Doing this sort of VOD review into hard focusing on the one interaction and trying to implement it into your gameplay is very essential when it comes to improving, and you'll notice results very, very fast. Alright guys, that's the video. I hope it helped you all get to Masters. If not, make sure to leave a comment down below, let me know what I've missed out. As always, thank you so much to Sophie for editing the video so fast. If you want to throw some support my way, my Twitch and my Twitter at HTSpider will be linked down below. Whilst you're down there, you can drop a like. I have plenty more Rivals 2 content, guides, tournament runs, loads more videos to come, so make sure to subscribe as well. But for now, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.